we find with the real tight turnaround for students between the end of fall semester and the start at a new institution for spring semester, it is just an extra hurdle for them to have to come to campus for an orientation session. And so we still have an in-person orientation the Friday before classes starts. That way they can get to know campus a little bit, do some things with each other to know students prior to classes starting, all of those important pieces. But we've shifted the advising piece to be online prior to that. So that way students feel confident in the classes they're going to take and ready to get their books, all of those little details that help people feel comfortable and ready. And that's really what we want. And so for spring orientation, they have, I'm counting in my head, 3 designated meetings in that afternoon with different entities. So they start with, as a group, based on their major, with their orientation assistant, their student leader, who really sets them up for, here's how technology works, here's some of the questions you should think about asking, and here's who I am and I can help you in this way, right? And so after the session, they can help make schedule changes because they know the software. And so that's in one, we use WebEx on campus, that's in one room. And then they have a department meeting with their faculty member from their academic department. So it's all the students that are in that department who goes over an overview of, this is what your major is going to be like. Here's some expectations we have for our students. Here's some of the things you have to look forward to as this major we're really excited about. And we invite families to join them for that so that family members can also hear about this, how the student's going to move through the program. And then they have that individual advising meeting with their faculty members. So that's in a whole different WebEx room, in that personal WebEx room for that advisor at a specific time. And so it's just coordinating a lot of people clicking on the right link at the right time. And how do we know that that happened when none of us are physically in the same spaces? And so it used to involve a lot of spreadsheets. And the orientation assistants in particular would spend the first part of their meeting asking, taking attendance basically. And it seemed like it was a lost opportunity, right? We were losing out on an opportunity for them to be actually connecting with folks, and getting them set up for success for the day. And so what the multi-checkpoint tool has allowed us to do is the orientation assistants put the QR up on their screen at the very beginning before it even starts and put in the chat, hey, you can sign right into our set, check off that you're here for our session. And so that way, when they start to meet with them, instead of staring at the bottom of people's screen to be do I have your full name? Because maybe I have 2 Davids in the room and I have to figure out which one's which. They can start right into, hey, welcome to orientation. Let's meet each other. We'll do a quick get to know you. Here's what the day is going to look like for you. Let's test your technologies. We found that was super helpful. And then we also were able to ask those questions I mentioned for the advising piece when they came. So they came back into their orientation assistance room to make schedule changes. And we could follow up and be did you make those? Do you have follow-up questions for us that we can then reach out to after this session? So really helpful.